This is Maggie and our week 2 recap. So starting training this week, we are going to start with that toy play again. We are playing with our flirt pole still. She's loving it. Good girl. So just kind of, again, dancing that toy in front of her. Once she gets a hold of it, she has a good bite on it. We're giving gentle tugs. I know, babes, you just want the cookies. Gentle tugs so that we're not like pulling her. What's his toy? You're over it and you want to get started? Yeah, that's really rude. All right, babe, so we'll stop from that toy and just get working. She wants food. Good girl. So first things first, we're gonna warm her up by charging that clicker. We don't have to do it as many times as we did last week, so maybe I'll do it 3 times. Good girl. And again, warm her up by tossing that, using our release word. Okay. Okay. Good girl. Okay. And again, that's just getting her used to the word itself and knowing that when she hears this word, that is her permission to get up and go. She's done with the behavior. Good girl, Maggie. Good. So continue practicing her following a food lure. Good job, baby. Yeah, you're such a smart girl. Maggie. Practice that food lure paired with her name. Maggie. Good. Make sure we practice following the food lure on both sides of our body. That way she gets used to potentially walking on both sides. Very good girl. Yeah. Maggie. Good job, baby. Okay. Maggie. Good girl. So practice that flying cookie game. Okay. Maggie. Good girl. So really, I don't have much space down here to play this game the way I might want to. So today, this week's step with the flying cookie game, I'm tossing those cookies in different directions, and then I'm moving myself. Okay. Maggie. Good girl. So that she has to kind of listen and find where I called her from versus me just standing in the same spot. She expects me to be here. This time I'm going to change it up and kind of move myself. Okay. Maggie. Good girl. And I waited for her to be done eating. As you could see in the video, she kind of like looked back to where I was, and then I called her name and had her come over to me. Good girl. You're so ready for food today, huh? Yeah. Good job, babies. So as you can see right there, there's a lot you can do when a dog knows how to follow a food lure. Good girl. Make it fun. Do some fun tricks. Good girl. Yeah. Good job. All right, babes. Okay. Touch. Good job, babe. So this week with our hand target, we are fading the use of food. Touch. Good girl. So now because she's still learning, that doesn't mean that I'm eliminating the food completely. I'm still feeding her. I'm just not using the food to get the behavior. Touch. Oh, no. Yeah, good girl. In the beginning stages, like you just saw, she might try to ignore that hand target that doesn't have food in it. Don't ask for your touch again. I kind of just closed my hand like pinchy fingers and then ask for that flat target again. Touch. Good girl. We also are trying to get a little bit more movement with the hand target. So expecting her to get up out of that down or up out of a sit to offer that behavior. All right, babe, we're gonna try to play with your toy for a second. Yeah, I know, you're just so into food. You just wanna eat your schnackos. but let's try. What is this? What is this? Look, it squeaks. Get it. Yeah, good girl. Good girl. So again, just gentle tugs, really to encourage her to chew on that toy, chomp down a little. Good girl. I don't want you to lay down though, that's boring. Good girl, Maggie. Yeah. Oh, good job, thank you. All right, so taking the win there and we'll move on. Okay. Sit. Good girl. So this week with our sit, we are again feeding, needing food to get the behavior. So I did not have food, oops, in my hand to initially get the behavior. I'm not working on downs, ma'am. It's very nice of you. Good job. I know we worked really hard on these all week. Okay. As you can see, because we are working on sits, we're not working on downs just yet. Even though she got into that really nice down, I want to make sure I get her back up into that sit and feed her in that sit position. So again, no food in my hand. Sit. Waiting those paws out. Quit pawing me. Good girl. And getting her back up in that sit, feeding her in the sit. I know, we're not working on downs, babe. The follow-up cookies to keep her in her position. You know, I dropped that one. All right, babes. Ready? Get it. Sit. Good girl. Good job not sliding into that other position. Follow-up cookie for staying there. Okay, and then a release cookie. Awesome job, babe. We'll end on a good note. So again, whatever position you're working on, be it sit or down, if she slides into the down when you guys are working on sits, just make sure to feed her in the sit. Same thing with the down. If you clicked and you're going to feed for that down and she pops up into a sit, make sure you get her back into that down position and feed her in position. All right, love, we can work on those downs now. So using food for this, once she's in a sit, I'm gonna wait out those paws. Starting at nose level, directly down to the ground. Down. Good. Click and feed that cookie right between her front paws. Follow-up cookie for staying in that position. Another one for staying in that position. Okay. And a release cookie to get her out of that position. Good girl, love. Yeah. You just love it so much. Down. Good. Waiting out those elbows to be completely on the ground. She kind of hovered for a second there. Good job, baby. I know the floor is slippery. Okay. Releasing her in a different direction, and we'll do that one more time. Down. Good. That was faster. Very good. So really building her duration, her down stay, by feeding these follow-up cookies and keeping her in this position. Okay. Good job, lovey. All right, moving right on, we're gonna do our mat next. Go to your mat. Good girl. So this week with the mat, we're moving on to step 2. Step 2, our mat is gonna stay stationary. I also expect her to get into at least a sit or a down before I click and feed her. Good girl. Okay. I know it said it's gonna stay stationary, but I'm gonna move it closer so we can see it better on the camera. Get it. Go to your mat. Good. So she creeped a little bit towards the edge of that mat. I clicked her and I kind of positioned the food back a little to get her body more completely onto this mat. So follow-up cookies for her staying here. Okay. Go to your mat. Good job, baby. Yeah, look at that happy tail. This is a fun one, huh? You get to just lay here and you get free cookies from the sky. What a good girl. Toss that cookie in a different direction. Okay. Went completely through the gate. Here, baby. There's that. Go to your mat. Very good girl. We can start to slow down how quickly those follow-up cookies come in. So having her build a little bit more duration on this mat between treats. As you can see, she wants to creep forward, so maybe don't go too long. Yeah, okay. Good girl. All right, and as a reminder, we like to use that mat for, it is a stationary behavior, so for when you might have company over, when you want to do the dishes and you don't want her in the dishwasher, that's a good one to utilize for those types of things. All right, newest thing this week is loading in and out of our kennel. Maggie, kennel. I know, you want to follow the food. Look. Yeah, good girl. So as soon as she has 4 paws in, that is what I'm clicking and feeding. Coming in with a follow-up cookie for her staying in that kennel. Very good girl. And then when we're ready, we'll use a cookie to release her. Okay. Maggie, kennel. Good job. So clicking, feeding, 4 paws in. The first time I did it, I put the food at the back of the kennel to really get her in there. But she's been doing really good at this one all week, just kind of going in. Good girl. So very nice. She's staying in there. She's not leaving on her own. Okay. Maggie, kennel. Good girl. Yeah, you're such a good girl. Go. And I love that she's getting herself into a nice down. She's settling, she's relaxed. What a good girl. Now crate games, okay, are gonna be super important when you bring her home. Really getting her to stay comfortable in her crate. Kennel. If she's a little unsure about it, you guys can definitely feed her meals in here. Build that positive association with the crate itself. And then just play these games, kind of cueing her in and out of the kennel. Next week we'll work on closing the door and continue building the positive associations with it. Good girl, look at that happy tail. Okay. Good job, baby. All right, we're done with that for now. All right, love, let's do our cooperative care. Yeah. All right, let's put those there for now. Hi, baby. So same thing that we worked on last week, we're gonna continue building on different handling. So she's connected with food at one end, my hand comes under the belly, building on that duration this week. Yes, so holding her for longer. I am applying a little bit of pressure into her belly so that she feels that restraint. Yes, good girl. And then again, we're holding the tail, lifting the tail up potentially a little bit longer. Yes, good girl. Happy, happy girl. Look at your tail wagging. Yeah. Yes, good job, baby. Let's fine that she laid down. Might not be the most comfortable with what they have to do when they lift her tail, but that's okay. Looking at the ears, I want to add a little bit of massage. So right at her canal opening. Yes, good girl. Alrighty, can I do your other ear? Yeah, you're such a brave, pretty girl. Yes, good girl. Good job, Lovey. And then a peek in her mouth. Yes, good job. Last week we made it really fast. I lifted the lip and I looked in that mouth. This week I'm lifting the lip and kind of going back further so I can see her further back teeth in there. Good job, pretty girl. I know. Gosh, you're so sweet. Next thing we're gonna do is handle her paws. Hey, it's in my hand. Good job. So starting in that neutral zone, start at her shoulders. Yes, good girl. And glide down to the body part you want to handle. Yes. This week I'm really adding manipulation, massage into those paws. Yes. Good job, baby. When it comes time to trim nails, you are going to have to hold that paw for a long time. Yes. So we need to make sure that she's used to staying semi-still, letting us hold that paw as we manipulate the toes to try to trim her nails. Now, earlier in the week when I did trim her nails, I had it where I was holding her up in my arms and then kind of like getting her toe out, trimming a nail, feeding her a piece of food, trimming a nail, feeding her a piece of food. Now for novice handlers, that might be a little difficult. So I do recommend that you have a helper, someone who can hold her as the other person focuses on trimming the nails. Speaking of nail trimming, getting her used to the nail trimmers coming towards her body, that is the new thing that we worked on this week. So typically when I do that, I'm gonna have my dog focused on food. Nail trimmers are gonna come in, touch the shoulder blade, and glide down to her paw. Yes, it's very hard to see that with the way I did that. I apologize. So come into the shoulders, glide down. Yes, good job, baby. Same thing for the back paws. Come into the shoulders, glide down. Yes, good job, love. Let's rotate you for the other one. Yeah, good job. Yes, good job. So that's beginning stages to just get her used to this equipment. The other thing that you can do is just set the tool out. That way she can check it out, she can explore it. I'm gonna drop a cookie. That way she again associates positive things with these grooming tools. Good girl. Yeah, good job. All right, the other tool we introduced this week is our brush. So same thing. I'm gonna just bring the piece of equipment to her body while she's attached to food in one hand. Now with the brush, I am starting with the non-bristle side. So touch, swipe, yes, good girl. Yes, good job. She's cool, she doesn't care. Yes, I flipped it over and I did a swipe of the bristle side and she was very good for that. I know I gotta get more food, I'm sorry. With the brush, I like to make sure that I'm not only swiping on her back and her body. Keep those paws on the ground, ma'am. I also want to check or approach her chest. So she's focused on food. Yes, come into the chest. Yes, good girl. And also want to make sure I do that with her head. I know this floor is hard to keep sliding back. She's on food. Yes, good girl. Yes, all right, okay. The reason I like to do the back, the chest, the head, I mean, she's furry everywhere. You guys are gonna have to brush her all over. So make sure she's used to this brush approaching her from all angles, especially at her back end. You guys are wanna get used to brushing her back here as well. Yes, good job, okay. So just practice that on all parts of her body. All right, lovey, one more thing. All right, so this week with our harness, we are now attaching our leash. So with the leash this week, she's just gonna drag it behind her. That way she can get used to having the leash attached, having something behind her. I'm gonna set food out and she's gonna get super excited about it. I know. Good job, ready? I'll get that food. Yeah, good job, babies. Ate it quicker than I could move. So once she's all geared up, I'm gonna toss some cookies. We'll play the flying cookie game. Okay. Maggie. Good girl. Okay. Maggie. Yeah, good job. Okay. Oh, that went 0%. Hey, Maggie. Good job. So again, using the space that you have, hopefully at home you can get a little bit more distance. Okay. Maggie. Upper. Yeah, good job. So again, remember, if your puppy doesn't respond to you the first time, do not chant their name. Instead of saying her name again, I made kissy noises, I whistled, and then I said pupper, pupper, and that is what got her attention. Just again, remember not to say it more than once. Okay. Maggie, touch. Good. So different movement behaviors we can work on while she has this leash on. Her hand targets. Touch. Hey, little girl. What's this? Good job. So work through that troubleshooting. Remember, this is the first week we're trying it without food, and she got through that easily. Hey, Maggie. Touch. Good. So waiting to have her attention first before asking for that behavior. Good job, love. All right, I'm going to get her out of her gear. Good job. Get it. And that is it for Maggie's week 2 recap.